what is wrong with the collection of garbage? Do we have a problem first and foremost? Is there a problem with the collection of garbage?
Truthfully, in some pockets across the island, mainly the major townships, we do have some challenges. They are not new. And the truth is, we have been here before. So this interview came about because of downtown Kingston, but it is not a unique situation. Places like Linstead, Spanish Town, we do have challenges in terms of the town centers. Truth be told, we could get a little bit more out of our operatives there in terms of like our sweepers, but if you contain this discussion to the NSWMA, you might not fully appreciate this, because in all of this, there is a serious cultural defect that must be part of the conversation. What I mean? I mean, businesses that ply their trade in these spaces have a part to play, and while some do, some don't. And we have a challenge here in terms of the way or the methodologies that they employ to dispose of their garbage. We also have the vendors also, which have some of the burden to carry in terms of the way they dispose of the garbage generated by their little businesses. And then we have the pedestrians, they just remain, and these towns are heavily trafficked. Heavy traffic go through these town centers, and the way we conduct ourselves, is commonplace for people to throw things through the windows of cars across Jamaica. It's commonplace for a person to finish eating a patty or a bun and cheese, whatever, and just drop the container. So we have a problem, but the problem is multifaceted. Now, if we try to treat with this in a singular way by saying the NSWMA should do more, and I have always tried to be honest with the report, the interviews, the way we communicate to people. I always level with them. The truth is, with the best will in the world, if we have 300,000 people moving to a space daily, and they decide to be, for want of a better word, non-cooperative with the waste management requirements, we're going to have a challenge.
But go ahead.
I was going to say that all of us must come to the table and know that we have a part to play and be responsible citizens. We tried an initiative a couple of years ago called the Clean City Initiative, where we met with businesses and
but
all
Mr.
levels.
Gordon, what has gone wrong? It was not so long ago your minister, as in Minister Desmond McKenzie, were boasting, yes, that our ability, our capacity to collect the garbage consistently and on a timely basis, that capacity had improved significantly with the NSWMA acquiring 50 new garbage trucks.
Well, in total, it was 100.
100.
50 before and then 50
exactly.
the following year, right?
So what has gone wrong? So much so that the mayor of Kingston is saying in some communities they're complaining of waste not being collected for 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks, Audley Gordon?
And that requires some explanation, which I'll... The meetings, we set out symbolically to go into the space and clean it up properly. Vendors were involved, the taximen, the businesses, volunteers. It was a great day. The plan was that once we leave that moment, we would then all, even people selling oranges or whatever you sell, have a little bag where somebody eat an orange, they could just, if they eat it right, they already peel, could just go into that bag. So we wouldn't have the garbage scattered. The main problem in these town centers, and what I think upsets the mayor most, and maybe understandably in some areas, is the fact that we have too much garbage thrown around. The littering. It's hard to maintain the space when people just litter at will. We have to challenge our citizenry to stop littering, find a way to dispose of your garbage responsibly. There are areas that we have provided drums, we have skips, and we are in the process now of retrofitting our town centers with more receptacles near to each other more closely. So we can.
So, Mr. Gordon, the 100 new vehicles, trucks you have acquired, yes, and your staff, even with that,
yes,
we find ourselves in a situation where we're back to square one.
No, hold on, Cliff. I really want to spend some time with you to build this conversation up rather than just attacking one little symptom here, a little symptom there. We are talking about a town center, which is heavily trafficked. Now, if we go and if we use all our resources to focus on the town centers, we create another problem. The NSWMA primary focus is on domestic collections. Domestic collections. The NSWMA wasn't set up to run behind every little mini dump.
So why are the communities having pile-up going on for 6 to 8 weeks?
All right, so I want to finish the town centers. There's a reason why I want to finish the town centers, please. To say that we who use the town centers, let me wrap it up and then go to the communities. We who use the town centers must do a better job containerizing our garbage. We can't throw things all around. I went downtown a couple of Christmas ago for a night collection. And the floor, or the asphalt, the road area, was carpeted with garbage, like about 2 feet high. You're walking in garbage, and so on. This does not augur well for a clean city or for proper waste management. So we who use the town centers, businesses, vendors, and pedestrians alike, have to do a better job with how we dispose of our garbage. And this is not to say that the NSWMA don't have a role to play, because we do provide sweepers. And Mr. Swaby Mayor Swaby knows that the sweepers from the NSWMA are, I think, about 40 of them downtown. He knows that we have some challenges. As less than a week ago, we had a discussion with Mr. Swaby and myself, and he knows also that I am doing some investigation and some internal maneuverings to fix that sweeping arrangement downtown, which he rightly reported, because he was out early circulating on a couple of mornings and didn't see the sweepers as they should be out there. And we are fixing that, Mr. Swaby knows. But
is that what he's referring to when he says he has a suspicion? Yes, he didn't put it no stronger, that some of your employees are being paid, but they are doing little or no work. Is that what he's alluding to?
I'm not so sure. It could be. But what I do know is that we have discussed this, because we have an excellent partnership going with the KSAMC, and in particular, Mr. Swaby, the mayor. And
so hold on there, Mr.
Less than a week ago, early one morning, he was downtown and he called me, and we discussed what he observed, and I communicated some things to him. I'm not so sure why he switched that approach and decided to use loudspeakers. However...
Oh, you wanted to keep it quiet?
No, because if we are discussing and we are moving in a particular direction to arrest a situation, I would not go to the loudspeaker route. I'm talking about less than a week ago we have a conversation. So all I'm saying is I'm not going to tell his worship how to run his city and how to communicate. What I will say to the people of Kingston and St. Andrew is that those employed to sweep will have to sweep.
But they have not been sweeping.
And to the extent that that information is proven, then you will hear about it in terms of the actions that will be taken. So,
what is the nature of the internal problem you're wrestling with, Mr. Gordon? If you can give us the details, what is the nature of the problem you have on your hands internally at NSWMA?
well, we do have a number of problems, and it wouldn't be prudent for me to open up a war with the people that I lead publicly. It's not wise. There are some things that you deal with strategically and efficiently, but covertly as possible. So one of the challenges that we do have is the challenge of the work ethic. The work ethic.
But that's not a new problem at NSWMA.
Well, what I'm admitting that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also admitting that we had long suspected that there were instances of gas theft. And we worked a system out where we engaged private contractor to retrofit our units with tracker. Very good tracker system that we knows where a truck stop, how long it stop. If they pull the tank to take out the gas, we know. So there's no electronic monitoring system in place, and that is helping us with very good information, and information that so concrete, so good is the information that we were able to work with the police and effect arrests. So you see, we don't come public with everything because again we have to run an institution, and we have to manage how we navigate the industrial.
But what you're telling, what you have just revealed, is that with the use of better technology, tracking vehicle tracking technology, you have been able to identify some of your workers stealing your fuel, and you have been able to make arrests.
Absolutely, we have made arrests, and I will tell you this, I'll tell your listeners, that we are evaluating the report from that electronic monitoring even as we speak, and there are possibilities that we may have more work for the police. Now, with that, will come the natural pushback, and those kind of things. I'm hesitant to.
Them a drop hand by you. Them a resist.
I must say to you that with any introduction of more strict, more monitoring, more control, more things that can put a plug into illicit activity, it will have some repercussion somewhere in terms of other things, might be in terms of even the work ethic thing that I spoke to you about. But we have to hold people accountable.
How much you suspect you lose every year from the stealing of the fuel at NSWMA?
We will have those numbers, and we will make them public in due time. But I can tell you that we have seen since the monitoring started, and once it became known and a couple of arrests were made, we have seen some improvement that we will put the figures together and we will make it public.
Well, I can understand the pressure you're under, Mr. Gordon.
It's enormous. It's enormous pressure. But you know what? If you lead at this level, you have to have the stomach for it. And, even sometimes even your own personal safety is a consideration. But
exactly. That is what I'm here thinking. Because with the use of the better technology, you mash up the people them hustle. People can't eat their food again.
But I'm not new to this, Cliff. When we were trying to fix the issues on the disposal site, we came under some pressure too. But I don't really want to make the interview about me because I signed up for the job. What I want to say is that we are doing all we can with the resources that we have. I have to speak to the truck thing because I did say at the arrivals of the truck that the trucks are timely. We got them we couldn't have waited longer because our fleet. Why did we go to cabinet and request the new trucks? We request 100 new trucks because we were literally collapsing. When I came here, and it may seem like yesterday for some, but I'm here going nearly 10 years now. And when I came, the youngest truck that I saw when I came here was like 12 years old. Now, what that means is that we were using a very aged fleet. A lot of them were causing the taxpayer too much money to keep them going. It wasn't cost effective. We weren't getting value for money. And so we had to do a quick retrofitting of the fleet. Was that enough? No, it wasn't enough because we need a minimum of 150 to some, and depending on who you talk to, between that and 200 new efficient unit to keep a good service going. With the terrains we have, with our disposal sites are distributed across the island. Most people don't know that when I load a truck in Rocky Point, that truck has to navigate the Clarendon journey to Manchester into Mandeville.
But Mr. Gordon, the crux of what you have reluctantly revealed is that because you are now having the use of technology to crack down, to disrupt, let me use that word, disrupt the stealing of fuel at NSWMA, some members of your staff are pushing back, and this is impacting negatively the timely, consistent collection of the garbage.
That's one component. That's one component, an important component, Cliff, but that's not like we didn't expect that. So what we are doing now is more internal communication to people, to say to people, look now, what we are doing is for all of our benefits. If we run a more efficient system, we are able to do better collection. If we are able to cut cost in doing that collection, it is out a more efficient system right across, and all of us are better off for it, because remember now that the fact that we work at the National Solid Waste Management Authority doesn't mean that we don't pay taxes. So when our tax dollars are being used, you want to know that you're getting the maximum value for money. You want to know that it is being used wisely, so it benefits everyone. And we have to be trying to communicate that too, so that people understand that we are not coming to this because we hate or we're into malice or we want to see people suffer. It is this administration that I lead here. My executive can be applauded enough that we make our staff permanent. We move them from contract to permanent. I mean, we are talking about so far over 2,000 odd people made permanent. It is our administration here that put our sanitation officers into proper uniform. It is our administration that gives the life insurance, so that if anything, you have your children, the spouse, and so on, you have some coverage that they can carry on.
Finally. Finally, we're running out of time, Mr. Gordon. When can the residents of Kingston and St. Andrew and the other major town centers that are being affected by the delay in the collection of garbage, when can they reasonably expect a resumption of normality?
2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with Minister Mackenzie, and he was just reappointed 2 to 3 weeks ago, and his concern after discussing certain things with him is that we will have to, from the government side, that he will have to ensure that we are able to do a massive cleanup, and I know that he is working towards that end. But even without that, based on what we are doing internally in terms of trying to lift the staff morale, I believe that we should be able to turn around the the backlog, which today in Kingston is running somewhere in the region of I think it's 64 or 54 loads. We should be able to turn it around in 2 weeks. We're going with some night collections. We're opening the disposal site later than normal. We are working, talking with other stakeholders like the police, the security, in terms of going into the disposal site. And we are doing the things. Some will talk about, some will not talk about. But just for the residents, the people who are listening, we are aiming to clear all the backlogs in 2 weeks and bring the thing back to some normalcy.
Audley Gordon, thanks for sharing with us. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Good. The Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Boy, technology. Yeah? We have to get to the place where we use it more frequently.